everybody. Cindy Bettino, Transformational Healing. I'm a life coach, energy worker, and happiness expert. And I do this weekly video blog called A Cup of Happiness to help you find more happiness in your life. And today, we're going to be talking about that thing most of you don't talk about, which is called sex. I love talking about sex because most people don't talk enough about sex, especially partners, especially husbands and wives, or husbands and husbands and wives and wives. And it confuses me because talking about sex is really important. It's really important if we really want to have a happy, healthy, and especially a healthy sex life in our relationship. So we're going to do this video blog in 3 different parts. And today I'm going to talk about the differences between why men and women have sex, and understand that I'm generalizing. Okay, I'm generalizing. And then I'm going to talk about why we don't get enough and why our sex life might be frustrating for us. So first, is there a difference between why men and women have sex? And the answer is, for the most part, yes. Men tend to have sex for the physical release. For them, it's just a physical feel good, yummy, right? That's why they can have sex when they're angry, when they're frustrated, when they're anxious. They can still have sex because it's not here, it's somewhere else, right? So why do women have sex and why is it different? Well, women tend to have sex for an emotional, mental, and physical connection with their person. And for women to truly enjoy the sexual experience, again, I'm generalizing, but to truly enjoy the sexual experience, they need to take this and tone it down, right? Quiet it down. They need to get into here, their bodies, and then they need to be able to relax their bodies so that they can be ready for sex, enjoy sex, and possibly even have the wonderful orgasm. So that means if a woman is angry, so let's say you just having a fight, and the man's like, well, let's have sex. And maybe even bring Christianity or the Bible into it. And even there are many therapists that would agree that you don't punish your partner by taking away sex. Now, if you just had an argument and then you want to have sex with your partner, even if it's a few hours later, your partner, if she's a woman, might not really be able to. Could they be punishing you? Absolutely, yes, they could be. But there is a possibility that they aren't punishing you. It could be that they're not going to be able to get rid of the angry here so that they can tone this down, so that they can come into here, so that they can relax and enjoy the experience with you. So it's something to consider, right? And it's a question that I think is a really valid question to ask. Can you just not let go of what's happening or what happened before? And therefore you can't enjoy that experience on a really deep connection, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Or are you punishing me? And this goes to, again, why we don't get enough and why it can sex in your sex life with your partner can be frustrating. So when we ask about having sex, the possibility of having an intimate experience in that moment, in the next hour, in the next day, the next weekend, how do you ask? How do you talk about sex with your partner? And what I found is that a lot of people and a lot of partners talk about sex in a very negative way. Well, yeah, I used to do this and you don't do that anymore. And you used to touch me here, but you don't do that anymore. And we used to make love like rabbits and we hardly have sex anymore. And so we're throwing guilt and shame at the other person. I get that. I get the frustration because whoever's throwing that out is obviously not getting enough and wants more. But what if you actually spoke with your heart? What if you asked and talked about sex in a different way? What if you said things like, oh, I loved it when you used to do this. Maybe you do that again sometime soon. Or I really miss you. I miss our intimate time together. When do you think we can do that again? Or, that special something, something? Yeah, I would really love to do that. That was really fun when we did it like that. Don't you think that would get you a better result? And isn't that really the truth? When we speak to our partner from our hearts, we get a far better response in every way, in conflict, communication, sex, money. Wouldn't it be nice for your partner to just tell you that they miss you, or to just tell you that they loved when you did that one thing, that one time that really got them rolling? Well, another reason why we don't get enough and it can be frustrating is, what are our expectations about who initiates? This can really present a quandary in relationship. There might be beliefs around women that men should always initiate, or the men might really like you to be aggressive, and they really want you to have that happen. And the man might have initiated, or the woman might have initiated over and over and been rejected numerous times, and now they've just kind of given up. Happens, right? I know I'm not the only one that's thinking this and talking about this. So if you feel like you're the one who's frustrated and who wants to have more sex, then guess what? You need to initiate. And initiate in a loving, kind way. And we're going to talk about in our part 2, in the next part of talking about sex, we're going to talk about creating passion. That might be a really good one to watch if you want to have more sex in your relationship. I was going to say marriage, but in relationship, right? So why else can it be frustrating? Well, boundaries. Yeah, we have to really be aware of boundaries. And this is why I would love more people to talk about sex prior to getting married. If you're someone who wants to try everything once, right? You don't care, S&M, I don't know, open marriage, whatever, swinging from the chandeliers. You're open, you're curious, you have really big boundaries around you as a sexual being. And your partner, right, likes 2 positions and at night with the lights off. It's going to make a more difficult relationship. It's not impossible, right? But both of you are going to have to negotiate these boundaries frequently so that you both feel like you're getting your needs met sexually, which means you're going to have to, the person with the smaller boundaries are going to have to open up and go into those waters that might be a little bit uncomfortable. And the other person with the huge boundaries might have to come down a bit and go, okay, well, I can be happy enough with maybe 4 different positions, or let's try those 2 positions all around the house. I mean, I don't know, right? But boundaries are, when you have, a relationship where your boundaries really differ, conversations are really going to be important. And conversations that are kind and loving, because someone's not bad because they have huge boundaries, and someone's not bad because they have smaller boundaries, or they are more limited in their boundaries, more conservative. How about that? Conservative in their boundaries. Nobody's bad. It just is. And this is the death knell of the relationship. And I'm telling you, I'm not judging you because I've been there, done it. Probably have the t-shirt somewhere in my drawers that says, we can do it tomorrow. We're married. We've been married. We have kids. We have life. We have the house. We have anxiety. We have stuff. So we can do it tomorrow. We'll just do it tomorrow. Well, to that, I would say, how many tomorrows have gone by? How many months have gone by? How many days? Okay. And maybe that isn't the best phrase to have in your head or with your partner. It's a hard one to get out. Because, at the end of the day, you're tired. You're just like, oh, God, tomorrow, I'll have more energy tomorrow. But will you really? Will you really? So, Cindy Bettino, transformational healing, life coach, energy worker, happiness expert. This is my video blog, A Cup of Happiness. And this is about talking about sex, baby, part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week.